The date, Sunday, September 22nd, we are having a health and wellness expo. Everyone is welcome, so come and join us. Let me tell you what's happening. First of all, it's happening in Rahway, New Jersey, inspired by my sonny boy, Jamal Gaines. TRAUMEDY No More for Kids is what has inspired this health and wellness expo. Now, first of all, there's gonna be oodles and oodles and oodles of vendors. I'm so excited for the vendors, so you definitely wanna see that. We're also gonna have speakers coming out. We're gonna have a panel discussion, and on this panel discussion, we're gonna talk about how to manage stress, anxiety, depression, and trauma, not only for adults but children. This event is geared towards children, so there's going to be a cool bouncy house outside if you want to have your children come for that. There's going to be a gaming truck. I don't know much about that, but I hear kids like it. Now, there's so many highlights about this event, but it's not just for Rahway students and children. It's for all the children. Ages 7 to 12, 7 to 18, doesn't matter because there's going to be so many things. There's going to be breakout rooms, specialty breakout rooms to teach the children how to overcome anxiety, how to overcome stress. I'm so excited about this. Now, it's very important that you sign your child up for these breakout rooms. Sign them up for the event because it is limited space. We're gonna have an award ceremony, a scholarship ceremony at the end. So make sure you sign up. Make sure you join us. It's September 22nd. I know school is still in session. It's okay, it's okay. We gotta start early with the promotions. So sign up, join us, and go to TRAUMEDY No More for Kids for more information. Bye. Hey, happy Friday night to you and also you. I am Stars Tina, the host of the 7 a.m. Cup of Motivation. I know it's not 7 a.m., but guess what, guys? We have 2 days. I repeat, 2 days to the big event. As you see on the bottom right there, TRAUMEDY No More for Kids. We have been talking about this since May. That video, I made it in May when I had this download from God that said, girl, you are not doing enough. And I can guarantee all of us in the world, we're just not doing enough to give back, right? TRAUMEDY. What is a TRAUMEDY? A TRAUMEDY is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide. We all go through traumedies in our life. It's just a part of it, right? It's like a storm. I like to say tornadoes in the rain. They're tough, they're hard, they're ugly. But guess what? On the other side of that tornado is a beautiful rainbow. And unfortunately, sometimes the children get overlooked because the parents may be so upset, or they don't know what to say, or they're embarrassed, or they're scared. And that's why God has gifted me. Yes, I said gifted me. I had to reframe my thinking, right? Because in life, sometimes we get all pouty and we're like, why me? That's not fair. Blah, blah, blah. Why not you, right? What makes you so special that you can't go through some ups and some downs, right? So traumedies, as I mentioned, for children, sometimes they get overlooked, and it starts small. Think about a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5-year-old, the traumas and tragedies they go through. And as adults, we kind of like forget them, but guess what? The body keeps the score and they come out eventually. You can't run away from it. I'm sorry, people, you can't run away. Now, for children, I try to keep it simple. I don't know if you guys have heard the movie Inside Out or seen it. When someone told me about it, I was like, I'm not watching no kids' movie. But let me tell you, it's right on track with what I'm doing. So for children, I like to start with 3 main emotions that are a lot uncomfortable, starting with anxiety, and then moving up to a little bit of stress and then depression. Why? Because a lot of kids don't know what anxiety is. They're like, what's going on with my body? So once we let them understand what's going on in those uncomfortable feelings, I like to roll it over and then teach them how to push through the pain, push through the uncomfortableness, right? So we have resources, we have tools, we have things to empower them. And I'm so excited. This Monday, we're starting off. I'm going to my first school. I actually started this year going to the schools, teaching the children how to do this. And Monday we're starting, and we're going to start off with vision boards. Do you know what a vision board is? Do you have a vision board? Do you even do it? So I'm going to be teaching them how to do vision boards. So it is that time, guys. It is Friday night. Are you getting your little Friday night groove on? I know for me, I like to have Fridays as Friday date night or fish night, or, I don't know. But tonight, it's all about the interviews. Yes. And it's about the vendors, right? This event, I'm so grateful that God has gifted me with amazing people. So just all around me, right? Every person that's come on board, they're faith-based, they're godly, they're wonderful, they're wholesome. And it made me think, like, low key, I was a little disappointed that some people that I thought would support me haven't supported me. And then I was like, you know what, Tina, what's meant for you will be for you. So without further ado, I'm so super excited to mention this vendor. But before I get into the vendors, I just want to let you know, when you sign, you and to come to the event, you're going to have to sign a waiver. So when you sign up at the website, or you can text the word love to a phone number. I don't have it up here, but that's okay. And that's going to get you the waiver. So we're going to interview our very own, hey, yeah, hey, Amanda.
Hello, hello.
Can I say I just love your background? That is so pretty.
Thank you so much. I love this thing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
you look so relaxed. I feel, that's what I think of when I see your whole background and everything.
Oh, thank you.
So, Amanda, I'm loving the fact that you're all about nutrition, all of that great stuff. Can you tell all the people that are watching here a little bit about you, what you do, how you got started, and all that fun stuff?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm a nutrition therapist and board certified dietary supplement specialist.
Can we
So
stop right there? Can we stop right there? Nutrition, you said therapist. What exactly is that? Because I've heard of nutritionists and I've
sure.
heard of therapists, and I've had both of them, but never together. So, what is that?
So actually it's really interesting because when people hear nutrition therapy, you're like, that's what you think of, nutritionist and therapist, but I actually do something completely different. I use nutrients to help people recover from disease or eliminate symptoms that they're experiencing. And I think it's a big, huge gap in our healthcare, that we don't pay attention to actual nutrient content, because a lot of the issues that we're facing are literally because we have nutrient deficiencies.
Mm.
There's a
You
lot of reasons behind that, but
you said some things. What are some of the things that people are suffering from that your program helps them with?
so actually, I work with a lot of people who are suffering from anxiety and depression, learning disabilities, ADD, ADHD. I actually support a large group of people who are suffering or were suffering from those things, I think is a better term to use. And we support all of it with nutrients, with like natural help, right? And that's basically what I do. I do like super long evaluations. I literally get into like your whole history, your whole life story, and figure out what are the deficiencies that your body is suffering from, and how do we correct them.
Wow. So now I know why. I don't know if it was your sister or assistant or whatever. I was like, how did she hear about us? And he said, you align exactly with what she's doing. Now, at first, when I saw nutrition and I asked you, what are the symptoms? I thought you were going to say bellyache, headache, overweight, swelling, inflammation. Like, I was expecting you to say stuff like that. I never would have imagined you would have said anxiety, depression. And I know that, 80% of how you look, of how you feel is by what you're eating. Now, can you tell us how you got into this?
Absolutely. So I used to be very sick. In my by the time I was 23, I was on 6 different medications.
Sick
And
how? Like what kind of stuff?
so I was diagnosed with IBS, insomnia, hyperreactive allergies, eczema. I had a brittle bone actually, and a couple of other things, to be
How did
honest.
they know you had your nails, like brittle nails, you mean?
No, by the time I was 23, I had like 7 injuries and nobody could figure out why. So they started to, try to put me on a lot of different things. But what was happening was I wasn't getting any better. And I literally said to myself, this cannot be what God has planned for me. Like, this can't be it. And I started doing lots of reading and lots of learning. And it took me a year and a half, but I was able to get myself off of every medication and correct all of my function. Yeah. And after I realized that I could do this, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I firmly believe this, and I say it to people all the time, but like, I feel like everything that I've ever gone through, it's all part of God's plan, right? I take everything that I've ever seen, done, heard, and I use it in my practice and my, support for people. So everything that I went through, I feel like was for a reason. I'm sitting here before you, like pretty much like 90% symptom free. And it's completely natural. I don't take any meds. I don't do any of that. So, and I'm not here to say that there's not a time and a place for medication, but um, when there's a lot of preventable things that we could be doing to support our own bodies instead of going automatically to crisis management. I think there needs to be like a little space for us there where it's like, let's not automatically go to crisis management. Let's try over here. And that's kind of where I fit in.
I love it. I love it. Now, do you have an age group that you like to work with most? Like, is it women? Is it adults? Is it teenagers? What would you say you thrive at the most, and why?
So I think that there really isn't a group that I don't work with, to be honest with you. But I think that the people that I do help the most are women, anywhere from age like 35 to like 55, 60, I think is my largest population. But I also believe that that's because of being able to talk to people, you know? So I would love to get into a space where I can help kids, because actually, before I was in this field, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a teacher. I worked in schools, and like I volunteered at schools before COVID, and like I always had a passion for kids. And now I'm seeing, you know, we're all seeing a massive jump in the ailments and the things that kids are going through. And we have to start asking the question, why? Why are all our kids going through this, right? And I think that that's something that a lot of us don't really ask, right? We're just kind of accepting this as normal. It's not normal, you know. Even 50 years ago it wasn't normal, you know. So why is it normal now?
God just gave me a download. I'm sorry, Amanda.
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Downloads. I don't know if this is true, but this is what I heard. I don't know if you've written a book yet, but do you have any children?
I don't have children
Not
yet.
yet, not yet. So as a mom, as a single mom, even if you have a husband and all these people helping you, it's very challenging to get the food together, right? With what to order, what to buy, what not to buy. You want to get the snacks. So God gave me this download that you're going to come up with a book, and I can support you with it because I'm on my third book right now. A book for moms, being that your age group, right? 30 to 55. Well, I don't know if there's a 50.
Yeah.
And in this book, it's going to be foods for their children to help them with anxiety, stress, and depression. Because parents don't know what to do. They'll go to the store and they'll buy this and they'll read the label, and the outside says no sugar, says this, but you and I both know that's not right, right? And this could be a very simple book, because as parents, you're like this, you gotta go, you gotta go. So that's just a download that God gave me, because I was a single mom and I really didn't cook because I didn't have time. Girlfriend, don't laugh at me.
I'm not.
Circle magnet on the refrigerator. It was a circle, and it had little lines on it. And you spun the wheel, and it had Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, and had all these things. And then it had this really skinny line that said "Mom cooks." You know,
my God.
Really didn't cook that much, right? And I remember it was Monday through Thursday. I'd cook something, and Friday we called it fin. You had to fend for yourself on Friday. I say that to say, like, we try to keep it simple, right? Like Taco Tuesday.
Sure.
But as parents, it's very challenging. Can you share a story of a turnaround where, like, you saw where it was one way and then you taught the person, you worked with the person, and how long does it take? Does it take 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to get results and start learning habits? Would love to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have like 10,000 stories I can share with you right now, but I do want to go back to that food thing. Okay. One of the things that I tell all of my clients, right, is think about the thing that you love the most eating, right? And let's just figure out a way to make it healthy. That's all you have to do.
Say that again a little bit slower. I like that. I like that one.
Whatever it is that's your favorite meal, your go-to, all we have to do is figure out how to make it healthy. That's it. We don't have to recreate the wheel. And I think that that's a big part of like diet culture in general, where it's like we feel like we have to just eat grass instead of eating food, right?
I said it feels like the only time I have a flat stomach and is when I don't
eat, right?
It's like
yes. So and that's a big part of diet culture. It's part of one of the things that I'm trying to fight right now. Like, it's part of my mission, because no, your food does not have to be boring. It doesn't have to be gross. It doesn't have to be like tedious. You can make lots of fun stuff and just make it healthy. So like, for example, yesterday I had a group call with my group coaching in my coaching program.
Ooh, that was my next one. You got a group coaching.
I do. I have a big coaching program actually that I love. It's my heart and soul. But we had a group coaching call last night, and a client was sharing like the different products that she found. So one of the products that she found was heart of palm pasta, right? And we've all heard of heart of palm. We've seen it in the store, but now they're making like super low calorie, actually healthy pastas that pretty much taste just like pasta.
You know, they always say that. They got the chickpea pasta.
I know. But this one is actually really good. Okay. It's really good. It's not the same. It's not the same, but it's close enough, right? And if you're looking for a way to like easily get your kids to move to a healthier diet, this is something you could do. You could open the same spaghetti, right? But it's made of heart of palm instead of ultra processed flour that's going to trigger pretty much all the dysfunction in your body that it can. And instead of doing that, let's do this pasta. Put everything the same on it. You could do a meat sauce. You could top it with parm. You could do all of that. Add some chicken to it. Add some beef to it. Whatever it is, right? You can do all the same things, but we just need to swap out the ingredients so that they're healthier.
I love it. I love it. If you're just tuning in, this is Amanda. She is a nutrition therapist when it comes to anxiety, stress, depression, all that sorts of thing. I want to get into her, well, she told us already why she got started. She's going to be, she's one of our featured vendors at the event. I'm so excited. She's going to be giving out a prize at the end. I have some more questions for her, but before we ask her those questions, I want to share a video with you guys. And I've been showing this every show. And the reason is because it's my why, right? Today, I had a little breakdown. As I mentioned to you earlier, I was expecting certain things from certain people and it didn't come through. So I just wanted to share with you my why, right? If I can find my screen here. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm still here. Thank goodness. So I wanted to share with you my why that I'm doing this.
The young entrepreneur was killed in a business he owned downtown.
Laying there in his puddle in his own blood at that point. Literally holding him and screaming his name as he's taking his last breath.
Gaines was 21 years old when he was murdered.
And the Emmy goes to The Tape Room, Jamal Malley Gaines.
What's wrong with my son? Like, I'm sorry, your son's dead.
And the last time I saw my brother was in the hallway where he died. And I told him, you need to get a gun. You need to have more protection.
Somebody knows something. Somebody out there has some answers about what has happened.
This is ridiculous. Okay, it should not happen. This needs to stop. Young black man with a business. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
They were coming after the story when they shot him. He was still just fighting as he was going down. He went out there charging like a lion, and that's what we named this foundation after, Lion-Hearted Legend, because he had so much freaking heart.
Greatness attracts hate and jealousy and envy and greed.
Yes.
When what it should attract is motivation. Because that's what Marley did for me. He motivated me.
So yes, as of today, we still don't know who did it. And today, Amanda, as you know, the event is in 2 days, and I'm just kind of wrapping up everything together. And I told you I got a little emotional, and February will be 9 years that this has happened. Last year, I actually wrote a book. It's called No More TRAUMEDY, and my coach talked me into it because all the things that I learned over the 8 years of how to push through the pain, I put in this book. So I kind of know what to do if I'm mad, angry, sad, right? But sometimes life gets super overwhelming. And today, let's just say last year, we've done events every year, twice a year since this happened. And last year I was like, I'm not doing this anymore because yes, it's great. It's helping the community, it's helping the businesses. But for me, it's like, okay, my son is dead and you're getting the benefit. So it's kind of like a win-lose for me. And last year I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. And then God gave me a download, you know, he's always saying you're not doing enough, Tina. I was, you know, talking to some kids and this little girl said, I asked her what happens when you don't tap into your feelings. She said, when you don't tap into your feelings, you can commit suicide and die. This was a 12-year-old saying this. And I'm like, wow, right? So that's how I came up with the whole concept of this event, the book, the program. But today I was like getting angry because people said they were going to do things they weren't. And the event's going to be amazing. But, you know, I think big times 10. I wanted 5 to 7 food trucks. I had all the, I mean, we have all the things, but we don't have them as big as we want. And I don't have my bouncy house. But anyway, today I'm just like getting super emotional. I went by the shop today and I was just like so upset. And every negative emotion I had in my body, from anger, mad, just like, and again, I'm an expert when it comes to traumedy, you know, getting through it. So I know what to do, and it just wasn't working. And I'm just like when it first happened, I don't really drink, but when it first happened, I would have every Friday night, because that's when it happened, 9:15, 9:10, something like that. Every Friday night, I would go by the shop. Every Friday night, I'd have wine coolers and barbecue potato chips. Don't ask me why. I legit would have 2 wine coolers, and I was set. I was like, hey. So today, when I'm feeling all these feelings, I finally calmed myself down of the anger, pain, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm like, something, I want something. I don't want alcohol. I'm like, what am I going to do? My girlfriend, she made cake, Amanda. And icing. The cake wasn't even out of the pan. It was still hot. I'm cutting it. She comes back to with ice. She says, who took a piece of the cake? So my question to you is, being you are the nutrition therapist, when someone's like in that zone, and I know you say, find something that's replaceable. What's going to replace chocolate cake, vanilla? Like, help me out for the future, because we know this is going to happen again, right? I'm going to get emotional. So can you help me?
Absolutely. Here's the thing that I'm going to say to you. Give yourself space and give yourself grace. You are absolutely human. And you're allowed to go through those things. And this is part of my philosophy, but we have to live an 80-20 life. There's no person on the earth that can give 100% to 55 different things. Okay. And I think when we allow ourselves to have those moments when we're to be human, that actually is more powerful of a de-stressor than any tip that I could give you about what to replace chocolate cake with. Like, really, right? That space alone is enough to bring your stress down, right? And I think that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be perfect, to be more, to be better, to be greater, to be all these things. And then when we fall short of that, we start shaming ourselves, right? And we know, like even the Bible tells us, condemnation is the worst thing. It's the thing that separates us from God, right? So I say, give yourself a minute to be human and to feel what you're feeling. Because let me tell you, if I was putting together an event for 200 people and half of my vendors weren't doing what they were supposed to do, I'd be eating some chocolate cake, okay?
Let me tell you, someone texted me yesterday, I'm not going to be able to come. I'm like, really, girl? Like, you're just finding out you can't, but it's okay. You know, I say who's meant to be there will be there. God's got his plan. It's going to work out.
100%. And, you know, like even that statement, you know, like it's really not in our hands. We can do as much as we want to do, and we can follow the lead of what we're supposed to follow. But at the end of the day, it's really about what he decides is happening, right? So, so give yourself space, right? It's okay for you to have those moments. And I think that it's important for us to even talk about that right now, because I don't have a perfectionist model. And sometimes even when I'm out eating and people are like, I run into my clients all the time, right? We live in a very small neighborhood. Live in Poughkeepsie, right? Exactly. I've gone to the grocery store and people are like, actively running away from me because they don't want me to see what's in their cart. And I'm like, guys, I'm human too. Okay. It's okay. I don't run a perfectionist model. It's completely unrealistic. It sets you up for failure. It sets you up for shame. What I do love is balance, right? Let's balance. Let's make sure we're feeding ourselves the nutrition that we need and the macros that we need to function, so that when we have these moments, if we want a piece of cake, we can have it, as long as it's not detrimental to you, you can have it. If you're celiac and you want to eat chocolate cake, I'm going to say, girl, pause, but
Tell us what your coaching is like. And Renee, if you want to come on screen, you can join it, because my supporting partner, she's looking to get like into nutrition certifications and stuff.
Oh, nice.
If you want to join us, Renee, come on in. But, Amanda, can you share with us what your group coaching, one-on-one coaching is like? What is it like? Once a week? Is it once a month? You give tests to the people? Like, how does that work?
So actually, everybody joins me for different reasons. My main program is called the Great Reset. And basically, it's hitting the factory reset button on your body. Okay. So, which is why I think I work with a lot of women age 35 to 55, because unfortunately, that's when we start to hit these issues that nobody has answers for, right? So,
girl, I just want to like smash Eve. Like, even that damn apple, I don't know what was wrong with that woman. I'm sure it didn't taste that good. Like, that snake must have really been enticing. But
enticing, yes. But I think that a lot of people don't realize. So, like, I heard a statistic a couple months ago that even for me in the field was a little flooring. And that statistic was that 1 in 4 women are on a psychotropic medication.
What is that? What is psychedelic? Like acid?
No, like an antidepressant or anti-anxiety or like an ADHD, comative.
Okay, so here's my question for you. Sometimes I think, again, I'm not a professional or things like that. Like, they label things so quickly. You have anxiety. You have this. You have that. What are there any rules or criteria? Like, when you cry 5 times a day, you have anxiety. You're screaming all the time. You're like, what are the freaking rules? How do they know?
Exactly. And so here's the thing. One of the things that we don't talk about in our world is B6 is actually a more prevalent deficiency than B12, but we don't test it.
I've never even heard of it.
So B6 is actually a foundational nutrient that helps you produce neurotransmitters. If you're deficient, so that's like serotonin, dopamine, all your happy hormones. It also is part of like melatonin production, so sleep, right? If you don't have enough B6, how are you supposed to regulate your mood? Right? But instead of asking that question, are you eating right? Do you have nutrients in your diet? We're like, okay, here's this prescription to help you with your mood. And it's not correcting the problem, right? It doesn't address the problem. As soon as we take that out, it's going to come back. But if we correct the problem and the symptoms disappear, who can argue with that?
That's true. That's true.
Right?
Renee, do you have any questions? If you're just popping in, we're talking about nutrition therapy. It's to what you're eating to help you with your anxiety, depression, all that sort of stuff. Any questions, Renee?
Yeah, I was going to actually hit on that. Because I've had the experience of dealing with some people, and they think that they want to get right with their eating, their exercise, and what have you. But what I have found is that it always turns to something that's emotional.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So just to go back to Tina's question about my program, right? It's the Great Reset. We go through, it's a massive program. It's 4 months long. Mm-hmm. We go through actually cleaning your body out and then rebuilding your diet and your lifestyle. And the last half of the program is all about habits and emotional support, and like understanding how your emotions trigger what you're eating, right? And why. The big question is why. When I feel this, why do I do this? That's the question that I put in front of everyone on my plan. And we dissect it and get to the core of it. So yes, you're absolutely correct. It is very emotional driven. But if I fill you up with everything that you need, right? And you don't have anxiety anymore. You're not suffering from level 10 depression, maybe like a 1-2, right? Your gut function is great. You have healthy BMs every single day. That's like a dream for a lot of people. Okay. So you have healthy bowel movements every day. Your anxiety is gone. Your depression is super manageable. Your brain fog is lifted. Now you're at a place where you can make better choices about your food. But if I'm riddled with anxiety, if I'm suffering from depression, if my brain is foggy all day, and then you put a chocolate in front of me or a salad, which one am I going to choose? Right? Like, so, right? I mean, we're asking for the impossible with people who don't have the tools to make those kinds of choices, right? But if we correct that function, if we get you everything that you need first, then you can make those choices, right? And that's what my program does. We go through what I call nutrient intervention. So in the first 6 weeks of my program, we're actually, it's pretty intense, honestly, but we go through like a very particular diet. The food list is very long. It's not like you're eating like grass and protein, right? We have a very long food list, but it is a very particular food list. And at the same time, we do nutrient intervention. So everything that we've identified is missing for you, we're going to replace and get your stores way, 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 way up so that you actually have the capacity to do the next half of the program, which is let's address your habits, let's address your emotion, let's address your understanding of what needs to go in your body. Because most of us have no idea, right? And another thing that I'm fighting with diet culture is like, you know, through the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it was like carbs are from the devil. No carbs, no carbs, no carbs. If you are a human being, you need carbs.
She said human being.
It's a human, okay? If you are a human being, you need carbs in your life. It's the type of carbs that you're putting in your body that make the difference, right? So let's find out what's right for you. And not every person can do the same. Like all three of us here, well, if you guys all went through my program, we'd all end up with completely different diets because everyone's body is different. The things that work really well for me are not going to work really well for you. So every time we get a new diet bandwagon, we just got off the keto bandwagon most of the time. So like in a year, we're going to see another big diet come up, right? But like every time we go on a bandwagon, it actually does more damage than anything else. Yeah, there's this group of people who get really great results from going on this diet, but the rest of us who try those diets don't, right? And then we're just waiting for the next bandwagon. Let's stop all that. Let's actually figure out what's right for your body, you as an individual, and figure out what you need to like be able to live your best life. And that's really what I try to do.
I love that. If you guys see, this is Amanda Chinkin. Is that correct?
Chinkin.
And her website is Amanda Chinkin Nutrition. She's going to be at our event this Sunday. Make sure you go up to her table. Maybe you don't need it for yourself, but I can guarantee there's someone in your life who needs support, who needs to understand what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, because I've heard as well, it's not what you eat, it's when you eat it. And we have been doing events, virtual events, Amanda, called Elevate Your Business. And we did Elevate Your Fitness. We did a challenge. And listening to you talk and some other women that have come through, Renee, before the end of the year, we do virtual summits and they're pretty amazing. It's, you know, I would love for you to be one of our speakers. And I wanted Renee to be Elevate Your Health. Right? Maybe because being 51, I'm just like, you know, and I love how you're talking about your program and other people can use it as well. Right?
Absolutely.
Anyone's watching this and you have a question for Amanda, chop it in right now. Amanda, if you could leave us with one tip that can be universal for, is there one thing that can work for all people when it comes to nutrition and eating? Is there any one thing that can help us?
So it's going to be like a two-part thing, okay? If you replace 80% of the processed grains in your life, your quality of existence is going to drastically.
Okay, pause for a second because you said two things. Grains. Let's talk about grains first. What is a grain exactly?
So grains are wheat or oats or barley or Kamet, like.
So you're saying oatmeal is not healthy?
I know this is going to break a lot of hearts, but it's not as healthy as we think. Okay, so
what about steel cut oats?
Steel cut oats are definitely better. They have more heart supportive properties to them, but a lot of people out there have lectin sensitivities and don't know it. And with lectin issues, you can't do oats. Okay.
This is why eating is just like, all right, continue. You said
yes. So let's take out 80% of the grains in your diet. Just do that. Just replace it. Anything that you take out has to be replaced. Okay. We don't leave big gaping holes in our diets, right? So if we take out 80% of the grains and replace it for healthy options like angel hair, heart of palm pasta, right? And you add 5,000 IUs of vitamin D every day, the quality of your existence is going to change drastically in 2 weeks.
Woo! Okay, girl, you're hired. You're hired. All righty. So this has been such a great interview. We like to have it. Any other questions before we get out of here, Renee? It took too long.
I have one that I'll ask after we end the show.
Right. Okay. So as I mentioned, she will be at the event this Sunday. Makes you pull up to her table. Amanda, we like to end every show with a mountain top moment. So you were standing at the top of a mountain and there are hundreds of thousands of people in front of you. And you get to say, you have 1 minute to share something that's going to empower them, that's going to uplift them, that's going to change their lives for the better. What is it going to be? Go.
Oh my God, that's such a terrible thing to do to someone. Okay, so mountaintop moment. What am I going to say to 1,000 people?
Oh no, not 1,000, hundreds.
100,000. Okay. I think the thing that I would want to say is you are way more powerful than you think. You are in control of so much more than you think. And you are divinely connected to every other person in this crowd. You are divinely connected to the earth and to God. And if you could tap into just those two things, your unlimited power and that divine connection, your life is going to change.
Woo! I like that. Girlfriend, thank you so much for coming through. I know it's Friday night. Usually I don't do anything on Friday nights, but we're the event. I can't wait to see you.
I'm so excited to meet you in person. Oh my God.
Yes, I think I'm gonna go to sleep now to prep for Sunday. I'm just like, all right, crew, it's all about that TRAUMEDY No More for kids. Click the link. We don't have a link there. There's a phone number that you can go to. TRAUMEDY No More for kids. I'm Starstina. Thank you guys for rolling through. Peace. And a bottle of hair grease. Bye.